urban style individual.
What's up with y'all? Hopefully this video finds you in good spirits, and if not, well, at least you not DSP. And oh my goodness, I know we all seen this meltdown. And if you've been paying attention, we all knew that this was coming. But what this makes me wonder is what really happened that week when he wasn't here? Because we know Phil is going to Phil, right? But since he came back from that week off, he's been even worse than what he was before. It's almost as if there's a little bit more sauce on it, if you know what I'm trying to say. So let's get into it.
All right. So let's get back to it. So we have an hour and 40 minutes left on today's stream. All right. Let's get support right now before we even start up again. Seriously. We're at what? 67? Let's get $7 to support right now.
Now, let's lay the groundwork really quickly. He is going to audit them the entirety of this video here. I mean, he literally paused the stream, and the actual pausing was like 20 something minutes, almost 30 minutes long. And when you listen to him, he's asking, all of this is being done over $7. I'm gonna let him continue.
Whether it's a super chat, a tip, 3 memberships, 2 subs, whatever it is. Let's hit it right now. Let's get to halfway. Then for this second portion of the stream, we can just focus on doing the second half. All right? Seriously. And I am serious because it's been over an hour and there hasn't been a single contribution, yet you're all sitting here watching the stream.
And there's that old Phil entitlement. That old Phil entitlement. It's not enough for you to be there and viewing his content. It's not enough for you to be there commenting on his content at all, right? You must pay. Phil, why don't you just say that from the jump, man? Instead of doing this whole YouTube thing, why don't you just create a Patreon and put all your videos on Patreon? And since you think it's so noteworthy and worth paying for to view every single second of everything that you make, why don't you just put everything behind the paywall? Because that's what you're doing right now.
So let's get to 75 right now. Let's go. And for the record, because people keep asking about Silk Song, we're doing Silk Song tomorrow. We hit it earlier today. Someone did a very large tip, basically made up for the fact we didn't hit the goal last night, and we're doing Silk Song tomorrow as the daytime stream. We're giving it a shot as a day stream. Now, people better show up, engage, and support tomorrow.
What do you mean when you say people better? Like, he talks to people as if they are his children. You losing your damn mind, man. You think you're going to get favorable results by talking to people like that? All you're going to do is produce troll food. Because in the grand scheme of things, it really does not matter what you made. It doesn't matter. Look what you had to do to get it. That's the point, Phil. So you would like to focus on the money made, the outcome. But we're looking at the means that you're using to get to the outcome. And that's what's so disgusting about all this. You don't even have enough grace about yourself to realize how terrible of a look this is.
Because they claim they want it. So you better be here for it. If you want Silk Song, come by and support that stream, and we'll keep it in the rotation. All right? There is no math wrong on the King's tax. Shut up. I don't want to hear about. In fact, you know what? Just go away. You're fucking annoying.
Look how wound tight he is. Something is going on behind the scenes with this dude. I don't know if his parents told him, look, that money you were supposed to give us, you owe us. I don't know if he defaulted on some loan or maybe he's paying for his horse's move. I don't know if, she got a lot of stuff in the stable or what was going on. But something is obviously bothering him. And we know Phil, he's a toddler. So he has a hard time compartmentalizing things for the purposes of functioning. So when he's upset, much like a child, you're going to know that he's upset.
Yes, one person did save Silk Song. I thought it would be like a rallying of a few people. And in fact, I know that Danzak had done that first super chat earlier and was talking about Silk Song and probably would have wanted to have that count towards it. But then all of a sudden someone came in and was like, nah, here's just a giant tip. Let's do it. So that was amazing, obviously. And that's awesome and appreciated that happened. But now I need support for Cronos.
You hear that? I know you gave me money. I know you came in and saved the day, but I need you to save this day too. And then tomorrow when I stream, I'm gonna need you to save me again and again and again. See, the saving never stops. This is why saving is a terrible word for this, right? Because if you save something, then naturally you've taken it out of that environment and placed it into a new environment, and they are not subject to those threats anymore. But these people are subject to Phil's nonsense every single day. This dude is holding them hostage over $7.
All right, are we gonna get it? Come on. I've been streaming now this game for 2.5 hours. And we've gotten, in the 2.5 hours, I'm not kidding, we've gotten, let's see, $10 of support. So let's go. Let's get to halfway to the goal right now.
This is so hilarious, man, because when you look at this, right, we all know that we point and laugh at Phil, but this truly is hell on earth. This is misery, man. This is misery. He literally has to wake up every single day and do something that he clearly hates with the hopes of making a couple bucks. Now, he would like to project that onto other people and claim that his situation is better than yours because he doesn't have a boss. The difference is, Phil, you do have a boss, but you don't know who they are. And they're not qualified to run a business. You have this weird parasocial relationship going on, and this is why you're melting down stream after stream, because all that Keno Casino push that you got and whatever relevance that you thought you had has clearly dried up. We are firmly, and I mean firmly, in pre-Keno Casino days, man. And I would not be surprised that at some point he creates some excuse to change the king tax from $150 to $100, because how else is he going to preserve his pride?
Kratos fanboy, the thing is, we don't have ideas to do anything special at 100 goals, so what's the point of counting to 100? We're doing rewards every 10 goals, right? We're doing DSP tries it. Since we don't have anything for the top one, you know what I'm saying? There's no point in counting to 100. Just not, right?
I agree. There's no point in counting to 100. It's silly. But what do you mean we don't have any ideas? This doesn't make any sense to me. You should be the one that's crafting and framing ideas for your stream. I mean, you have tons of games to use as a backdrop, and you still can't figure this out. You're still sourcing what you should do from people in the crowd, and you're wondering why you're getting tossed to and fro, and you wonder why people play games with you. Because you make it so easy. Look how long the leash is. And the second you get desperate, it becomes even easier to mess with you.
I'm streaming till 4 p.m., so we still got a while. But like I'm saying, we're here. We can't get to halfway right now, seriously. And that way we just have the second half to work towards for the second half of the gameplay stream. You're telling me there's no one watching this stream right now at all out of the 229 people watching on YouTube, out of the almost 90 people watching on Kit. There's no one watching and saying, hey, this is a good stream. Bill's actually, you know, playing a challenging game. It's tense. I'm liking the vibe. I like the content. Let's get halfway to the goal, and then we can, you know, work towards it for the second half. You're telling me there's no one out there enjoying the stream? No.
You know what this reminds me of? Remember that film Troy, starring Brad Pitt, and his character was Achilles? And the opening sequence was one of the dopest opening sequences, in my opinion, in film history. And it's up there, right? We can talk about it. It's up there, though. But in the opening sequence, this huge warrior comes out, right? And the king yells, Achilles! You know, he's not there, but eventually he makes his way to the battlefield. And he trots towards the guy. And he drops the dagger into his shoulder blade, and he drops. Achilles walks over to the enemy army, looks them dead in the face, and he says, is there no one else? And this is what this reminds me of, because even though Phil has made money, right? Because at this point, he's somewhere around like $60-something. So he's made money up until this point. But his question is, yeah, I got it, but is there no one else? And this is why I call this dude a black hole. It doesn't matter how much money you give him, because he's so accustomed to it just flowing through his hands like water. He never really had to grip it and hold on to it in case something happened. It always just came. And this is why he's like this.
No one. Right. I don't buy that. Or else you wouldn't be here. If the truth is, if you weren't enjoying the stream, you would not be here. You'd be watching on a fucking restreamer or something. So I don't buy it. This is a terrible stream. Well, then leave. What is keeping you here if you don't like Cronos? Really? Narwhal Gaming, it's time to dispel the nonsense. Well, aren't the Kick viewers contributing because they're watching? Dude, I have 80-something viewers on Kick. How much do you think Kick pays me for 80-something viewers on a stream? Realistically.
Nobody cares. Nobody really cares. Right now, that's funny because you used to use that as a brag. Oh, all the LARPers are there, but they don't know that I still get paid for it. Now, when it doesn't suit you, the truth comes out and we find out that you don't make anything. But we knew that already, even when you were trying to flex. See, but the culture that you're creating, like I mentioned before, is well culture. If you want to be a DSP supporter, you better have a really good job. You better have some type of inheritance or something coming, because he's not going to accept you just viewing his content. That's not enough. It's not enough, which is ironic because for most people, that's plenty.
Do you think I'm making tons of money on that? I'm making almost nothing. Okay, that's stupid. If I had 500, 1,000 viewers, then I'd be making good money. I have 80 viewers on Kick. And I could turn off the YouTube stream and then all the YouTube viewers would have to watch on Kick and I'd make more money. But I don't want to do that because I appreciate my YouTube viewers who've been with me through thick and thin.
And that's a nonsense position to take. That's much akin to your position on the whole rawfield thing. Oh, if he got shut down, then people will have to come watch me. No, that's not true. We would just have another rawfield. It'll be rawfield 2 or rawfield reloaded, resurrected, or whatever. The point is somebody will fill that void. It just will happen because that void, let's be real about it, is necessary. So you can act as if you shut down one avenue that people will be forced into another. But one thing about the internet, man, is there are many, many, many avenues to do things. And you don't have nearly as much control as you think you do.
For 17 plus years, I'm not going to make them leave the format that they like to watch on in order to make a few extra bucks. So I leave the co-streaming on because of that reason. Chef Domesky, I counted the $54 from before. I swear to God, the next person that says I didn't count it is going to get banned. I've had enough. I've counted the $54. I gave everyone an extra goal. We were at 46. We're not at 45. We're at 46. I said, hey, we hit a goal because of the $54 tip. And now we're counting towards the next goal. So stop with the bullshit because I'm tired of people trying to make me look bad. I actually gave extra and now people say I gave less. Fuck off trying to spin everything as a toxic negative.
How did you give them extra when you opened up that opening sequence with somebody gave you money first? So you were paid to do what you're doing now. So how do you frame it in your mind that you gave, not only just gave somebody something, but you gave them extra? Do you see how entitled this dude is? Not only does he want everything you have, but he's so unwilling to give you anything also, right? It's just a one-way street. Things come in, nothing ever goes out. And this is why you don't have a community feel, a real community, because there has to be some push, pull, some give, take, some supply and demand. That's how it works.
That didn't happen. You're inventing fucking events that didn't happen on the stream. I counted a goal towards DSP Tries It for $54.
Okay, that exactly. So you just contradicted what you said. You were paid to do something and you did it. So stop acting like you did somebody a favor. You're not. Because even when you're playing video games, you're not doing anybody any favors. Nobody needs this to sustain themselves, man. All this shit is extra, man. We're very fortunate to be in the positions that we are in, where things are built up to a point where these are the things that we can do in our off time. We don't have to go graze land or, pillage something or walk 5 miles to get some water or something. Everything's right here and we can just have fun. But this guy finds a way to make something even as dope as that miserable.
So I don't want to hear it. Really, it pisses me off when people want to just make shit up. Right, it's 6 now. You're right. You're right. We're now got rid of the 4, so it's 6 out of 10. We're not going to say 46 out of 50. I don't see the point to doing that. What's up, King Michael? How's it going? The funny part is that people say, why does he even address this? Because he's giving the detractors ammo. Literally everything I say is ammo. Every word out of my mouth. I'm not going to sit here silent for the stream. Anything I say is ammo for the detractors. Because even if nothing happens, they still make something up anyway. So it doesn't matter. The moment I turn on the stream, they're going to say something toxic. So why do we even bring it up? You're the one bringing up the detractors, not me. Like, that's asinine. Like,
It's so funny when he tries to act as if someone has to twist the things that he says. Phil, for the longest time, you've had clip channels who clip exclusively just the stuff you're saying without trying to interpret or give an opinion on it or anything. It's just you talking. And then those clips permeate throughout the internet and big content creators get a hold of it. And then the world reacts to it. But you're trying to act as if the detractors are twisting something or doing some Hollywood production on it to make you look bad. Nobody has to do that, man. You do that on your own and you're very, very good at it.
Like, oh, now the detractors have a clip. They have a clip no matter what. No matter when I turn on the stream, they have something. So what the fuck are you talking about? Like, use your brain. That's right. People want to see me specifically play the game. That's correct. That's why you're here. Because you want to see DSP suffer through a very challenging survival horror game. It's different than a lot of the survival horror games I've played recently, by far, too. Like, there's a lot different about this than, say, Silent Hill 2 last year, than any of the Resident Evils I've played recently. It's just very different. It's unique. I'm getting the hang of it now, although, man, it's frustrating when we get to a tough part, but I'm getting the hang of it now. I'm persevering. We're getting better at it, right? So since you're here because you specifically want to see DSP play it, then please support that content. That's what I ask. If you're here to watch the stream I'm providing because you enjoy watching me play games in the way that I do, then support that content and then there will be more of it.
But people have supported the content. I just seen the leaderboard scroll. Y'all can't see it, but it was $67. So really, he's talking about a handful of 20s. This is really what this is about. Now, this is the same guy that wants you to believe that the king's coffers are always full and he can do whatever he wants whenever he wants because he's the king, right? Then why are you crashing out about a handful of 20s, bro? This makes no sense whatsoever. I mean, even when you look at it from the approach of just, okay, this is DSP and we know how he gets down, right? Imagine what this does to your mental if you are really dependent on making $50 additional to get to the next day. I could not imagine that. I couldn't imagine that because to me, the closest thing that you can be to dead is broke.
Right? We talked about it earlier before I started playing the game, that if you like content, you support it, then because you've supported it, that money can be made to make more content, right? That's how it works.
Well, how much money are you spending to quote unquote make content? Now, we know that you're buying the video game, but according to you, you're an avid gamer and you're passionate. So one could surmise that you would be purchasing video games anyway. So aside from the startup cost of the camera and some of the software that you might have to get, there really are no ongoing costs aside from the game itself. You would already have internet. Okay, it's 2025. Everybody has internet. You will already have a computer, right? It's 2025. We don't have to go there. So a lot of what you're trying to anchor on this is things that you would already have. So realistically, what does it take for you to run a gaming YouTube channel, especially someone on his level? I'm not talking about the big guys, right? But something on his level, right? He probably spends more money on DSP Tries It than he does on quote unquote operating the business. This is a damn joke, man.
Now, I just sit here like a lump and I say I get everything for free because I'm entitled and I just get everything. And then how dare you even ask for any support and make a living? How could you? No, that's not how fucking life works.
What is this everything that people are getting though? Because what you just described is yourself. You're the one that's providing nothing and asking for everything. You don't understand what other people have to do to generate revenue. Okay. And everybody doesn't get to just sit around and just ask for money and it just pops up electronically in some account that you created. A lot of people have to go out into the world, deal with people that they do or do not like, and maybe in some cases do jobs that they do or do not like because it's duty bound, right? So then you're asking those same people, or according to you, those same people, because your dents are not dented, right? So based on that theory, these people are working for their money. Why would they come home after doing all of that and then just turn around and give it to somebody like you? It doesn't make sense, which explains why you are in the situation that you're in. You don't appeal to normal people at all. Not even a little bit. The second you open your mouth, it takes about 5 minutes and we can realize something's off with this dude. And not only that, he's a piece of shit. We can tell.
We made the allegory of a movie, that if a movie comes out and people like it and they go watch it at the theater and they pay for the subscription or the on-demand rental and the movie makes money, then those movie makers can go make more movies that you like, as opposed.
Yes. If they bought the ticket to go to the film, sure. But you already purchased the game. So your analogy does not work here. You're requiring ongoing support like this is a construction project where you're constantly having to purchase material because things are changing as things are coming together. That's what you're doing. So your comparison to the Hollywood production does not make any sense at all.
Opposed to if you say you want the movie, but then you pirate the movie, you steal the movie, you illegally download the movie, right? Then they make no money and they can't make more content. So you're shooting yourself in the foot when you don't support the content you like. If you don't like the content, then what are you doing here? Why are you here on my stream if you don't like it?
To watch this because you a clown. That's why, Phil. And you still don't understand this. People look at you and they point and they laugh. You are what they call a cautionary tale. You know, people, young men who have sons, or even older men who have sons, women who have sons, can look at their boys and say, don't do everything the opposite of what he did. Don't be like him. Because it's not only that your antics every day, but even when you have chances to be quote unquote redeemable, you're just so unreasonable about every single step along the way. That's why it's impossible for people with reasonable minds to view you as something that can be helped, because you're just so far gone, dude. You just don't get that. And rants like this, right, only secure and solidify that position. Because how else, once again, is someone supposed to take something like this, Phil? You stop the stream for a half hour to cry about $7, yet you're the king. The king of what exactly?
So either you enjoy and you support when you can and you understand why I ask for contributions, or you fuck off. It's one or the other. There's no in between. This is actually a case, there is no black and white. Like, either you like the content, so you're here to enjoy it, you're here to support me because you like the way I play games, you like it, or you get the fuck out because you're just sitting here being toxic and no one cares about you.
Is that why you dedicated this segment to the people you claim you don't care about? Phil, you do this all the time. You know, this is not showing someone who does not care. This is showing someone who cares a whole lot. This is why you dedicate so much time to it. This is why you pour your spirit into vengeance, into you're an apology fetish that you have, right? You care very much about what people think about you. And that's why you told PPP that you would love to harken back to the days where people actually respected the things that you said, right? So let's not act like these things are not important to you, because we know they are. And it's based on your behavior.
Zigbrix, I did not tell you to get the fuck out. You must have joined mid-sentence. What I'm saying is, there's a group of people who are LARPers. They come in here and they pretend like they're fans of mine. They're not. And they sit here and they talk shit and they're very toxic about everything. And God forbid that I'm on my own stream, my own business, and I say, hey, please support the stream. Oh, he's begging. It's horrible that he would do that. No, I have to do that, because if I don't do that, I can't make a living. And people should understand that if they support the content they like, they get more of it.
It's not that people don't understand your weird business concept. It's that you don't understand excess. You don't understand going too far. That's why I say you're very much like a toddler, because oftentimes they can't pick up on when they're annoying their parents either. They'll just keep going until you just finally like, stop. I told you to stop, right? But you were trying to be nice before, though. You know how it is, right? And it's the same thing with Phil. He doesn't understand that he's annoying. Seriously. And this is why I said before that he doesn't care about the viewer experience, because if anybody did, why would they be doing this? This makes no sense. If you are an entertainer and you're trying to, number one, keep the audience that you have and hopefully appeal to more people to enlarge that audience, right? Why would you do something like this? This tells you that he's very much comfortable with having a couple of whales every so often. And he knows that some are going to swim off, but hopefully, based on numbers alone, he can have some shock value, and maybe one of his clips hits another whale somewhere, another one will roll in, because This is what has been keeping DSP Gaming afloat for these last couple years, is these whales, man.
Right? If you pirate the content, if you go watch it elsewhere because it's stolen, then the content cannot continue to succeed because I need to make a living. So it's that simple. It really is a simple thing. But they don't want to act like they want, oh, anytime that he says anything about profits or being supported, it's a toxic, horrible thing. No, it's not. And the truth is, what happens when we hit goals? Then I'm like, well, I actually don't want to talk anymore about goals. We hit the goal. We're good. Right now, if we hit the goal 150, I would say, hey, thanks a lot. Maybe we can hit a second goal, but hey, thanks for hitting the goal, and then we can just play the game.
You see that contradicting, and you see how quickly it came? Now, we all knew that that was bullshit. When he hit the goal, he don't mention the goal again. Phil, in fact, that's the first thing that you do when you hit the goal. You roll right into talking about the next goal. You do it all the time. And he's just showcased that right there. First, he said he wouldn't do it. Then he said, maybe I'll mention the second goal. There's no maybe to it. You're going to stop what you're doing. You're going to change the leaderboard. You're going to do your little Dora the Explorer dance, right? And play your kindergarten music, right? And then you're going to follow on talking about how to hit more goals so we can do DSP tries it. Everybody knows how this goes. So you're not fooling nobody. That's why I say a lot of times, I don't think he's trying to convince us. I don't think he is. I think he's trying to convince himself.
Instead, I've been here 2 hours and there's been $10 of support in 2 hours. So that's the problem. Green Luigi, no other streamer is in the situation I'm in, so fuck off. Really, no other streamer's in the unique situation I'm in, so I have to do things differently and you can kiss my ass.
Now, for those of you who did not get a chance to see what Green Luigi said in the chat, I'm going to read it real quick. And, he ain't saying nothing that's crazy, but this is what he says. He says, no other streamer I've ever watched talks about money as much as you do. Support talk is more than half your content. Now, tell me where the lie is right there, right? I mean, what he said is as obvious as the sun coming up in the morning, right? He didn't say anything crazy or compelling. That's an objective fact, right? If I'm not mistaken, I just watched a video where PPP in the Kino Casino had a pie chart and they were talking about how much he talks about support and other things, but primarily support and all the things therein, right? Because support is just the baseline. There's other things. DSP tries it and how much they made the last time, right? So it's always circling around money. He's right about that. And that type of talk is exhausting because people are trying to escape, Phil, because at the end of the day, this is entertainment. But you've turned it into a reality show. So now people are interested in you, the character. Nobody cares about you playing video games. And this is what you've been reduced to. And like I said before, it couldn't have happened to a better person.
If you don't like the content, leave. What are you doing here? Right? Okay. So I'm going to continue to play. Thank you, Princess Luna. Princess Luna, $7 super chat. Now we've hit halfway to the goal. And now we're going to play. I was going to say we're going to have to play anyway. But thank you so much, Princess Luna. Hey, look, it's someone who's a positive person who likes my content and actually wants to support it. What a novel concept.
Now, do you see the shame tactic? Right? He gets some money and he's going to prop up Princess Luna / OIC or whoever as the prototypical dent that you should model yourself after. It's pathetic.
Right? Not toxic jerks who sit here and are demanding and everything I do is wrong. But then when I do what you want, what you're asking for, you also say it's wrong. You know, it's very contrarian. It gets annoying. Like, I've really enjoyed this year because this year I've got to do a lot of things that normally I wouldn't have done. And I branched out and I did all kinds of new content and I'm really enjoying this ride. But people have to understand, for that ride to continue, we have to keep hitting goals and have to get support. If we keep hitting goals, then I can buy new peripherals. I can buy any game I want when it's new. We could buy 10 games in a week, for God's sakes. We could. And it's fine.
Phil, there is no ride, okay? A ride is basically stating that it's self-propelled, that it has momentum and that it's moving under its own power. Your channel is much more like a downward spiral where you don't really get to control how much momentum you have on your way to the bottom. You're hitting rocks, you're hitting trees, there's divots in the landscape, that are forcing you to tumble and you're breaking bones, and it's just crazy. So no, there's not some ride that you're on, but you speak that way because you talk like a drug addict. That's how they describe when they go on binges and the couple years where they were down and you didn't see them. Oh, it was a hell of a ride. Like, what do you mean a hell of a ride? You were not in control, man. When you say something like that, that tells me you are in control. But Phil, you are not in control of anything. You can't even point out or pick what you should play next. Everything is a long, drawn out 2-hour meeting about what we, quote unquote, should do next. It's ridiculous.
I can get new controllers on the fly, new wheels, new lighting, new anything, whatever you want. But that's because you're supporting the content, so I can continue to make it and improve it. If you just sit here complaining all day, you don't like any of the content, anytime that I ask for support, I'm horrible, what a horrible person I am, don't you understand that you serve no purpose? Zero. Just go watch the fucking detractor and leave us all alone. Stop fucking crapping on these chats. We want to actually enjoy the game together. I want to sit here and talk with people and have engagement. I don't want to see people just literally constantly complain. It's frustrating. It does. It gets to you. Like, shut the fuck up.
My question is, Mr. Lolcow, what do you think this is going to do to the people who are trolling you? You sitting here admitting that you don't like certain things. So naturally, if you are a troll or somebody that's a detractor or, detractor in the troll space, what are you going to do now? The exact thing that he said he doesn't like that people do. People, Phil, nobody respects you. So when you put boundaries out there, people are naturally going to test them because that's what comes with when people don't respect you. When people respect you and you put boundaries out there, oftentimes the footprint will go beyond what you even placed to begin with due to how much they respect you. But for you, you have the adverse effect. Nobody respects anything you say, and they're just waiting for the next crash out or the next desperate begging session or the next time you beg about to eat a cheeseburger or something. This is your life. And like I said, this couldn't have happened to a better person. You are relegated to playing and doing something that you do not like, seemingly for the rest of your days, because trust me when I tell you, this dude has no retirement plan. It's very much stream to stream. It's very much day to day. He has nothing in the coffers. He has no investments. He don't even know who to talk to even do something like that, even though this is something that he should have had taken care of a decade ago when he was making all that bread. Because maybe then you won't only have to stream twice a week or 3 times a week, but you didn't chart your steps correctly. And this is what happens when you don't plan. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Urban style content. I'm dead.